Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Duran. Hopefully you guys are noticing the video quality should be much better right now. I recently upgraded the camera, so between that and the new mics, we're moving up in this world. So one of the greatest things about being a new channel, or at least new on many of the platforms I post these videos on, is that I'm still discovering what I want this channel to be about. Much like a child growing up and figuring out what they want to be in the future, I'm trying to figure out what this channel is going to be about in the future. So we started off with videos on product reviews. I love it. I'm going to continue it. That's why I started this. It gives me a lot of joy. Then we did a video which was like a 5th grade adult science project where we put items in jars for a month, and then after a month we're going to come back and see what has happened to those items. Now that video, the first one, is still ongoing, and we're going to continue doing that on a monthly basis. But then the other day, I was scrolling through Amazon, and I was trying to find products to do reviews on, and I constantly was getting ads from businesses claiming their products, whatever the product happened to be, was nearly indestructible. Whether it was crush-proof, drop-proof, fireproof, waterproof, whatever. They kept making these claims that their product was amazing in different ways. And I started thinking to myself, is that true? I mean, how many times have you bought a product on Amazon or on eBay or anywhere, and they claim one thing, but when you get home, you realize it just ain't true? So I was actually kind of curious what of their claims are true. Now, I know there are other influencers on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot, where they're doing things like this. But I want to throw my hat in the ring and do it my way. So today we're going to start off with the first item that we're going to do product testing on. So what I've got here today is the SanDisk hard drives. They're solid state 500 gig hard drives. Now, SanDisk, I gotta say, I use them. I love them. I have a bunch of their hard drives, and SanDisk is not sponsoring this at all. But if you ever want to, SanDisk, give me a shout. I love you guys. Anyways, they claim these are really rugged hard drives. They're made for the person that does not walk on the normal path, goes off the beaten path, right? They're the campers, the hikers, the outdoorsmen or women. These hard drives are supposed to be able to take a beating. Now, according to SanDisk, at least the video and the ad on Amazon, these are dust resistant, water resistant, and drop or shock proof from up to 3 meters. Now, forgive my math, it's like around 9 feet or a little above 9 feet. So I'm wondering how much of that is true. Can I really drop this from 9 feet, basically a story, onto the hard ground and it still will work? Can these things get wet without an issue? So what I'm going to do is I have a video file, which I'm going to go ahead and put the video file on each of these items, and we're going to test them out. Now here, let me show you the video I'm going to actually be putting on there. So what I did is I went ahead and put that file on each of these hard drives. And as you can see, I've named them each in permanent marker: heat, shock, cold, and water. So we'll know exactly which ones we're testing and which ones fail. So that video is the video I'm going to put on each of these hard drives. And what I'm going to do is test these drives. And after each test, we're going to go into the drive and see if they're still playable, thus knowing whether or not they work. So what I'm going to do is I've got 4 drives, and I'm going to do 4 different tests. The first one is I'm really curious about that shock proof or shock resistance. So they say they can do, I believe it was 3 meters. So my daughter and I are going to take the ladder out to the park in a little bit, and we're going to start dropping this. And I'll bring my iPad with me, and we'll play it after each drop and see if it's still playable. And we'll see how high we can get. I'm really curious on that one, because I've dropped hard drives and lost data before. I'm sure you have too. And I'm curious to see how well these things are built that we will not lose our data. Now, they are solid state, so that means there's no moving parts. So I'm pretty sure they can take a hell of a beating, but we'll see. Now, the next one is they say they are water resistant. So what I'm going to do is start testing that. Now, I've got this homemade rain machine, sort of. We'll test it out, and we'll see how much water these things can handle before it finally dies. If it can take some rain, we'll see if it can take some submersion. So that's that one. These two I'm going to actually be testing in a way that SanDisk does not make a claim for. But I'm just personally curious, so I wanted to see what would happen, and I thought you guys would enjoy it too. So one of these, I'm going to freeze. I have an idea of a couple ways I can freeze it. I'm still working on that idea right now, but I'm going to freeze it. And then we're going to come back after a couple hours, and then if it's still working, after maybe a day, and see if it's still working. Because heck, you know, maybe you're caught out in a blizzard one day. Maybe you go to Antarctica. You want to know if your hard drive is going to work. Now this one's going to be very destructive. I want to see how heat resistant it is. So I've got a couple ideas on how I can do this, but we'll do that one together, and I'll share with you guys a little bit later how I'm going to do that. But we're going to see if you're out in the desert and you get stuck out there and you happen to have your hard drive for whatever reason, will your data still be there, you know, when they finally find your body picked clean from the vultures?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Pretty picture there for you. Anyways, we're going to test that out. So this is going to definitely be a multi-day video, so you might see my clothing change, but just bear with me. I'm so excited about this. I'll see you guys out there. So before my daughter and I head out to the park to test the other hard drive for shock resistance, I figured since it's exactly 12 o'clock now, we'll go ahead and throw this one in the freezer so that when we come back, we can start testing this. Before I do that, I just wanted to point out that two things about this hard drive. The first one is I didn't realize how small it is. I mean, it is really small. I mean, put it next to my hand there. The other thing is it has a nice rubber coating on it, which is probably going to help with the shock resistance. So let's go ahead and throw this one in the freezer. Come on with me. Forgive my freezer, it's kind of messy. All right, so yeah, I guess just right up here in front. And we'll come back in a couple hours and check it out. Where we're headed to?
The park.
And what are we going to do?
Daddy's going to make a YouTube video and I'm going to play.
There you go.
Anna.
With Anna. Are you excited?
Since I don't know any of the kids there.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
All right. So we just got to the park, and you'll see I've got the shock hard drive. Let's see, focus. There you go. So I've got the ladder set up. It's a 5-foot ladder. I'm not going to say how tall I am, but I'm just a little taller than that. So we're going to go ahead and start dropping it. Now this says it's 3 meters. So what I'm going to do is I've got my laptop or my iPad here. After each drop, I'll test it and make sure it's playing. Since it says it could do 3 meters, I'm going to start at the top of this ladder, which is, like I said, about 5 feet. We'll drop her, test her, and then we'll just keep going up little by little. Oh. Wow. I would never have done that to my own personal hard drive. I don't care if it says it's shockproof. Let's test it out. So there it is. It shows it's there. Okay. Let's play a video. All right. Play the other video. It's different format. It's playing, no problem. Go up 2 steps. So I don't know exactly how high it is, but even dropping it twice, there's no actual scuffs or anything yet. It sees the files, but it's not playing it. Oh, there it goes. All right. Gotta go up. By the way, I don't like heights. It's got its first little bit of scuff. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's like a little, very little scuff. Let's go back to files. All right, it sees it. Keeps playing. So, ladder's not doing anything. I'll just go up to the 3rd rung again and reach up as high as I can go. That should be at the 3 meter mark. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna go inside the cord and start throwing it up. This time I'll just do it from up here, throw it up a little. And found it. All right, still playing. All right, that's as high as I can go on the ladder and throwing it up. So I'm gonna go inside the court where there's no one there, and I'll try throwing it as high as I can go. See how it does. All right, I repositioned here inside the court. So let's go ahead and just throw it up and see how high I can get it and see if it still works. Wow, that did not sound good. Not sure if you guys heard that. Oh my gosh. Still found. And, all right. All right, I'm impressed. That was a hell of a lot more than 3 meters. I'm gonna try it once more, see how high. Woo! All right. So, before I check it out, let me show you. You can see, I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit of scratching up here on the handle. A little bit on the corner. That's it. I mean, other than that, she looks good. Hold on. And it plays no problem. We've got it. Can I help you? Oh, she was behind you. I was wondering if you were walking my daughter. What's up, baby? All right, so it survived. No problems. I can't throw it any higher. That was definitely a heck of a lot more than 3 meters. That's got to be at least 6 or more. So I've got a solid wall here. I'm going to reposition the camera and we're going to throw it at the wall and see how that does. All right. Let's see. And it finds it and does it play. So I'll be able to, but do. Yep, give me a second, still playing. I gotta go grab the bucket, which we're gonna put him in. I was afraid it was gonna snap open, so I went light. Let's see how hard. Man, it's still barely scuffed. Okay, there's a couple of scratches. That one got a little bit bigger. All right, okay. It's still working, no problems. I'm gonna try it once more, harder, as hard as I can possibly do it, against this wall. If that doesn't work, we'll go home. We'll figure something else. I want to find out how, what it takes to destroy this. So, here we go. So, that did something. I don't know if you could see, but the lid right here on the edge started coming off. So, that took a lot though. Hold on. It recognizes. Wow. That it's touching. There we go. Yep, vacuum seal drawers. All right. I'm not sure what I can do next. Now that it popped off a little bit, I want to throw it one more time, see if the whole thing will pop off. We'll go from there. Hang on. Hey. All right. I split her open. Some paper or rubber came out. All right, well, the last one did it. The entire cover came off. It's exposed. And this, what I assume is some sort of shock absorber. Oh no, it's kind of sticky. Maybe it's a tape. Oh, it's probably a tape for this part here. That came out, but does it still play? It recognizes it. Oh my goodness. And will it play? Sure does. All right, so I've destroyed the entire cover. I mean, it completely fell apart, but it's still playable. So I'm not satisfied. We're gonna take this back to the house after my daughter's done playing in the playground, and let's see what else we can do to it. They say it's shockproof. Maybe I'll figure it out with my tools. But we'll definitely do some more to it once we get back to the house. I'll see you guys there. All right, so we just got home from the park, and these days here in New York, it's pretty damn hot. Anyways, it is just after 2 o'clock. And before we go on to continue the testing of the shock proofness or shock resistance of the other one, I figure we'll check out the freezer and see how that one's doing. Remember, wow, that is cold. Remember, the company doesn't say that it's resistance against cold. So I don't know how it's going to react. All right, let's see. Wow, that is cold as can be. It's not showing up. All right, well, yeah, it's not showing up at all. Let's see, maybe that's all I needed. Nope. I think we have our first victim. So in the freezer for roughly 2 hours, and it doesn't seem to be working. Let me try one more time. I mean, after throwing that thing against a cement wall, I gotta try at least once more. Hey! I don't know if you guys can see it. It came up cold. All right, let's see. Hold up. And maybe I had to just thaw out a bit. And then our vacuum sealed. There you go. The bread. Alrighty, so 2 hours in the freezer worked. Now I'm wondering if it was just needed to like warm up a bit, but it's not dead. So in the freezer it goes again. Let's see what happens in another couple hours. All right, so I'm going to set up right now to keep testing the shock resistance of the other one. Yeah, I've got a few ideas of how we can do that. So give me a few minutes. Let me set everything up, and I'll come back. See you in a bit. Hey, everybody. So for you, it's been a couple seconds. For me, it's been about a week. Some family things came up and I wasn't able to get back to this video. In the meantime, I did send off a video a few days ago. That's the one on the lint buzzer thing and the thermos, titanium thermos. But I'm back. I really want to get this one done for you guys. It's really interesting to me. But before we get back into it, I wanted to do a couple quick updates. 3 of them specifically, and respond to some comments. So one of the TikTok followers, R. Scott, sent me a message about 2 weeks ago, and I'm sorry it took me so long to get back to you, Scott, but he responded to our video with these camera detectors. So this one specifically had a function called magnet detection, and I wasn't sure what it was about. And he informed me, and I verified it, it's correct, that it's for detecting speakers and microphones. So that's pretty cool. That's a really nice feature to have, especially if you're looking for hidden listening devices, cameras, and whatnot. So Scott, thank you very much for that info. There's 2 more, but one other update is about the lint remover, this buzzer that I did in the last video. I showed you guys the socks that I was doing, and these are them. So I actually wound up finishing them after I finished the video, and they came out really good. So as you can see, I mean, it removed all the lint. I love this thing. The only negative downside is, now I wear boots, cowboy boots a lot. So these are long socks, but every time I finished 2 sides of this long sock, I had to remove the lint from the lint trap. Other than that, I mean, it works so well. I mean, it took off all the little lint balls and stuff. And actually, this is what's left. So, wow, right? Or this is what was taken off. So, I definitely recommend this. I loved it. It didn't take too long to do them all. I did all those socks, and I actually did a few other things as well. So, really cool device. Last thing I wanted to talk about or respond on is I have followers on platforms other than the ones in America. So other than TikTok, other than my YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, but I also post abroad on things like Douyin, Weixin, which are Chinese-based apps. And one of the users asked me in a video I posted the other day, where I was showing some of the swag I got from TikTok, about this. So just really quickly, I know a lot of the Americans and Westerners will already know what this is, but it's a kippah. I'm Jewish, so I wear a kippah. Most religious or traditional Jews do wear them. I wear it under my other hat just because I like these hats, but Jews are supposed to keep the head covered. Okay, with that all out of the way, let's get into finishing this video. So I'm actually only going to be able to finish 2 of the hard drives. So I have 4. One was for water, one was to check for heat resistance, water resistant, heat resistant, and then the other 2 was cold resistance, and this one which was for, what did I call it specifically? Smash. Yeah, smash resistance. I started editing the first part of the video. It is long, so I'm going to do this as a 2-parter. This one, I'll do 2 of these hard drives, and the smash one and the freezing one. The other one, if you guys like this video and give me a lot of thumbs up, I'll go ahead and finish the other 2 hard drives and check for heat resistance and water resistance. But that depends on you guys. You got to give me some likes, all right? Show me the love. You've got to show me love. And across all the different platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Douyin, Weixin, all of them, all right? All right, so for this smash one, if you remember, I'm sure you do because it was only about a minute or 2 ago for you, I took this to the park, I went up on the ladder, dropped it. It has a 2 meter, I know I kept saying 3 meter, but it has a 2 meter drop protection, I forgot what the term is, rating, that's it. So the company says it's rated for 2 meter drops, and I dropped it from a lot more than 2 meters. I threw it up there, I smashed it into a cement wall several times, and the only thing that happened is the front cover came off. Now you'll see that obviously it's back on. So my daughter saw it on my desk, and 9-year-old little girl wanted to help daddy. She put it back together for me. But that's okay. We'll still have some fun with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go plug this into my iPad right now, start playing the video, and since it didn't go down with drop, throwing, and smashing into a cement wall, we're going to try a mallet. I'm going to smash it a bunch of times with a mallet. Let's see if it stops working. If not, we'll go up to a hammer, and if that still doesn't do it, I've got a lot of knives. We'll find some way to destroy this hard drive. And once we're done with this one, we'll go on to the one that's in the freezer because that's been there for this entire time, nearly a week. So let's get into it. Let me reset here, get the iPad out, get it all hooked up, and we'll start smashing. All right, before we get to smashing, I just want to say it actually took about 2 minutes for the hard drive to load. So obviously there is some sort of damage, but the video is loading. As you can tell. So what I'm going to do is I don't actually know if this is good for the iPad, but we'll figure it out together. I'm going to play the video, and while it's playing, we'll try some smashes, see what happens. All right, let's get into it. All right. Wow. Now, it could be because it's a rubber mallet. Maybe that's it. But we'll go up to these. I know I said I was going to grab the other hammer. I don't know where it is. So we'll use these. We'll see if it keeps going. Oh, it's frozen. We may have done it. Woohoo! Wait. Okay. Oh, it unplugged. Hang on a second. It showed up. Let's see. Keep going. Oh. It unplugged again. Maybe I should turn it over and try this. Yep, still showing up. I'm going to try the back side this time. Let's see how that goes. Ooh. Okay, it stopped playing. It's finding the file. Let's try it there. All right. I'm going to go find a longer cable and I'll be right back. All right, so I found a longer cable. Let's get it hooked up. Just so you guys can see before we continue, I don't know if you can tell on that camera, it is all banged up. It's smashed. And it's actually indented here. Again, I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. But that entire section here is completely caved in. On this side, it's not too bad. It's mostly, it looks like scratched. But the cover is actually popping off again. So let's go ahead and pop it in. Make sure it's playing. And then we'll continue the carnage. Sure enough, it's there. Since this side is being in, we'll go with this one. I can't stop from falling out. All right. Let's turn it up. Oh, it's not. No. Okay. Since it keeps popping out, we're going to go up to the next level. I love my knives. And actually, we have some videos coming up about knives. So this one is a U.S. Marines, an old one. I picked up at an antique shop about 3-4 months ago. Anyways, I haven't used it. I sharpened it. But what we're going to do is we're going to stab the crap out of this thing until it stops. That's got to stop it. Before we do that, I don't want to... I'll puncture the table. It's fine. Alrighty, let's plug her back in and get her playing. Sure enough, she's still there. Okay, before I actually go ahead and stab this, let's just review. SanDisk, you made a device that will withstand one hell of a beating. This is not 2 meters. Should not be rated for 2 meters. This should be rated for 100 floors easily. I've thrown this against walls, thrown it up, smashed it on the ground. Hit it with a mallet, hit it with this wrench, and now we're going to stab it. One way or another, we're going to kill this thing, but SanDisk, you guys make one hell of a tough device here. All right. Let's get it playing. There it goes. God, I hope this doesn't destroy my iPad somehow. That was bad of me. Oh, we may have actually done it. I didn't even go all the way through. It's still there. Wait, I think my iPad froze. I think we killed it. Got a hole in there. I must have hit something. We'll pry it open and take a look. While we're waiting, I'm going to pry open the top. And let's see, did I hit the circuits inside? I mean, I might have. Oh, there's a very small scratch right here. I wonder if that was it. Is that what did it? Really? After all of, I mean, it's actually kind of bent. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's kind of bent in there. I'm sure that didn't help, but come on. You took all that beating and now you stop? You know, unlike the traditional hard drives, which have the moving parts, I can't hear anything as far as, you know, whether or not this is actually working. All right. I'm going to be actually disappointed that I didn't get to stab straight through this thing. Yeah, it looks like it's dead. Alrighty. Well, I still say SanDisk, you did an amazing job. But, yeah, just can't take a knife. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get on to the one that's been frozen for almost a week. All right, so just took it out of the freezer and it is cold as can be. In fact, yeah, I'm taking off the frost with my fingers here. So let's go ahead and plug it in. I'm not too confident that it will actually turn on right away. If you remember, the first time we put it in for like 2 hours, I think it was, it did not turn on right away. It took a little bit for it to warm up. So let's take a look. Oh, there it is. Showed up. I was going to grab the other cable, but hey, let's see if it plays. All right. SanDisk. You got something else you can rate it for. It was sat in the freezer for a week. I mean, this thing is frozen solid. I mean, I've got thick steaks in there that are solid. Yeah, I mean, it's working. It's only been out less than a minute, and she played. So we're going to have to take this to another level. All right, I'm back. So I'm actually leaving this one in because I'm still hopeful that it will turn on somehow. But as far as this frozen, wow, it's still cold. As far as the frozen one goes, what we're going to do now is freeze it in a block of ice. So I'm not going to throw it in the water directly because we have the one that we're going to test in water. So what I'm going to do is put it in this Ziploc. Really? There we go. And then put the Ziploc in here and freeze it. And I'll come back in a couple hours. Hopefully by then it will be frozen solid. And we'll see if it still works. I mean, I'm already impressed. I'm impressed with the first one. This one's just really doing even more for me. So we're going to go ahead and freeze this. I might add a little bit more water, make sure it's completely covered. Freeze it in a block of ice. Then come back. I have a heat gun. We'll go ahead and heat it up, melt the ice, and see if it's still running. See you in a little bit. So, it's another day, another wardrobe change. Took a long time for this thing to get frozen solid. So we're going to go ahead and defrost it and see if the hard drive is still working. I'm pretty confident it is. Before we do that, I want to see what the temperature is. Wow. Let's see, can you see that? 4 degrees Celsius, 31.5 Fahrenheit. That's pretty darn cold. All right, to help us out, I've got my trusty DeWalt heat gun here. Not sponsored by DeWalt, just love them. DeWalt, if you're listening and you want to sponsor me, I'm all yours. All right, let's get going. See if we can get it out. Hey, hey. Look at it in there. SanDisk. Look at that. Gonna try to go in from the back. It seems like there's less ice there. All right, guys, we're almost there. At this point, I'm actually melting plastic a little. What I'm going to do is grab a knife real quick and try to chisel out some of this ice and just get it out of there. Hold on. Wow, doesn't really want to come out. All right. Well. Get back in there. All right, we got it free. Let's get this away. Whew. Wow, still cold. Alrighty, as you can see, it's out. Been frozen in, it's been, the heat gun is hot. All right, it's been frozen solid for roughly a day. Let's see how it did. Will SanDisk impress me again? Oops, there was some ice in there. There we go. All right. Oh my gosh, it came right up. Here we go. Amazing. So, what have we learned so far from these two tests? One, we can take one of the hard drives, smash it to pieces, and for the most part, it still works until you stab it. And this one, you could essentially be frozen in ice solid and take it out and it's still going to work. SanDisk, you're amazing. Now remember, if you want to see me do the other two hard drives, the one for heat and the one for water resistance, make sure you hit the like button on whatever platform you're on. Leave me a comment, share the video with others, because if you guys do, I'll do the next video. This one just took too long. I'm not going to do two more and put you guys through an hour video. Anyways, that's what I've got for you guys this time. Next week, I've got some really cool things coming in. And I got a lot of cool things planned for the next few months. So, until later, take care of yourself. Be well wherever you are. SanDisk, you're awesome. All right, hold up a second. Before you guys go, I got one more thing. I told you I want to see this thing smashed. So, here we go. It didn't take that. See you in the next one.